Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in today's video I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the solar cell. But before you start, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any updates. You probably know that plants get their energy from the sun through their leaves in a process called photosynthesis. We humans don't have leaves, but we may be able to get energy from the sun in another way. Electrical energy. Could there be an electric leaf? A solar cell collects sunlight and produces electricity, just as a leaf produces food for a plant. At first, a solar cell or photovoltaic cell, also called a solar battery, a term that has a different meaning, is an electric device that converts light energy into electricity through the photovoltaic effect, a physical and chemical phenomenon. The photoelectric cell is defined as a device whose electrical characteristics, such as current, voltage or resistance, change when exposed to light. Solar cells are the building blocks of photovoltaic modules, otherwise known as solar panels. Solar cells are described as photovoltaic, whether the source is sunlight or artificial light. They are used, for example, in red detectors that detect light or other electromagnetic radiation close to the visible range or measure light intensity. The operation of a photovoltaic cell requires three main attributes: the absorption of light, generating either electron-hole pairs or outputs in the separation of charge carriers of opposite types, the separate extraction of these carriers to an external circuit, unlike a solar thermal collector, which provides heat by absorbing sunlight for direct heating or indirect production of electrical energy from the heat. A photoelectrolytic or photoelectrochemical cell, on the other hand, refers to a type of photovoltaic cell such as the one developed by Edmund Becquerel and modern dye-sensitized solar cells, or a device that directly separates water into hydrogen and oxygen using only sunlight. The Earth intercepts a large amount of solar energy, 173,000 terawatts. This is 10,000 times more energy than the population of the planet uses. So, is it possible that one day the world will be entirely dependent on solar energy? To answer this question, we must first look at how solar panels convert solar energy into electrical energy. Solar panels are made up of smaller units called solar cells. The most common solar cells are made from silicon, a semiconductor that is the second most abundant element on Earth. In a solar cell, crystalline silicon is sandwiched between conductive layers. Each silicon atom is connected to its neighbours by 4 strong bonds, which hold the electrons in place so that no current can flow. Here's the key. A silicon solar cell uses 2 different layers of silicon. N-type silicon contains extra electrons, and P-type silicon contains extra spaces for electrons, called holes. The 2 types of silicon come together. Electrons can move across the p-n junction, leaving a positive charge and creating a negative charge on the other side. Light can be thought of as a stream of tiny particles called photons, which shoot out from the sun. When one of these photons hits the silicon cell with the necessary energy, it can knock an electron out of its bond, leaving a hole. The negatively charged electron and the positively charged hole location are now free to move. But because of the electrical field and the p-n junction, they can only go one way. The electron is attracted to the n side, while the hole is attracted to the p side. From there they flow into an external circuit to do electrical work, such as powering a light bulb. Before you flip the conductive aluminium foil over at the back, each silicon cell produces only half a volt. But you can assemble them into modules to get more power. "12 photovoltaic cells are enough to charge a mobile phone, while it takes many modules to power an entire house. Electrons are the only moving parts of a solar cell. and they all go back to where they came from. There is nothing that wears out or is depleted, so solar cells can last for decades. So, what is stopping us from being totally dependent on solar energy? There are political factors at play, not to mention corporate pressure to maintain the status quo. But for now, let's focus on the physical and logistical challenges, and the most obvious of these is that solar energy is unevenly distributed across the planet. Some regions get more sun than others. It's also irregular. Solar energy is less available on cloudy days or at night. Total dependence would therefore require efficient means of transporting electricity from sunny to cloudy areas and adequate energy storage. The efficiency of the cell itself is also a challenge. If sunlight is reflected instead of absorbed, or if the dislodged electrons fall back into a hole before passing through the circuit, the photon energy is lost. The most efficient solar cell still converts only 46% of available sunlight into electricity, and most commercial systems are currently 15 to 20% efficient. Despite these limitations, it would be possible to power the whole world with current solar technology. We would need funds to build the infrastructure and a good deal of space. Estimates range from tens to hundreds of thousands of square miles, which sounds like a lot, but the Sahara Desert alone is over 3 million square miles. Meanwhile, solar cells are improving, becoming cheaper, and competing with grid electricity. And innovations like floating solar farms could change the landscape completely. Beyond thought experiments, there is the fact that more than 1 billion people do not have access to a reliable electricity grid, especially in developing countries. In such places, solar energy is already much cheaper and safer than available alternatives, such as paraffin. For example, in Finland or Seattle, sufficient solar energy is still far from being available. And that's all for today's video, and thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to share your thoughts and comments in the comments section. You can also suggest what topics we should cover in future videos. Finally, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe. And if you want to see more videos like this one, press the bell button so that you will be notified whenever I upload an interesting video to the channel. So, we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.